Hello everybody, welcome to our seminar, Implementation of Dual Vocational Education in Training. I'm your trainer Ludan, and I come from Bildungswerk der Baden-Württembergischen Wirtschaft International. What is Bildungswerk? We are your partner for education, for qualification, and HR services. And today, we're going to talk about Module 5, Selection and Approach of Companies. We all know that we need the cooperation from the schools and also the companies. We've already talked about different roles in dual system and dual education. So today, we're going to talk about selection and approach of companies and what should we do in this process. Let's start this module. First, we're going to tell you 4 different contents of this module. First, selection criteria for suitable companies. Second, who should be approached when talking to companies. Third, how to approach. Fourth, exercise. I'm looking forward to discuss about this topic with all of you. But first, I want to give our thanks to Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, and also SIQA, our partner der Deutschen Wirtschaft. Because with the help of them, with the support of them, we're having our whole seminar. Okay, back to our topic. We would like to give you 2 questions. First, what are necessary conditions a company has to meet? Second, what are desirable conditions a company should to meet? We would like to talk about the first question in this way. First point, willingness and interest. Believe in the idea of dual vocational training. Because during our many years experience in implementation of dual education and training, we have met a lot of companies that they don't believe in the idea of dual vocational training. And some of them, they believe in this idea, but they found that in the implementation, there are a lot of obstacles that they cannot conquer. For example, if we want to implement a dual vocational and training system, we are investment a lot of money in these apprentices. The apprentice has to divide their time into 2 parts, 1 part in schools and 1 part in companies. And if the company has continuously project, the apprentice cannot be in the company all the time. So this is a big obstacle for the company side. And some of the companies, they know something about the dual vocational training. They admire this kind of a system because this is very innovative. During this process, we need the company to have a belief that dual education is very suitable for this company. And also, the company will benefit from our system. Second, staff member as in-company trainer to take care of apprentice. Because the apprentice will go to school and also go to company. So in the company, we would love to have some in-company trainers for the apprentice. In this way, the apprentice won't lost in their new job, won't lost in their new position in the company. They will get some guidance in their company, and then they will definitely learn something. Third, job match with the vocations your institution is offering. Job match is also very important. This part, a lot of companies will willing to do this. Then the implementation of dual education and training is possible. Fourth, enough work or enough contracts to keep apprentice busy with tasks relevant for their vocation. This is also very important. A lot of companies, they have the willing to implement, but they don't have enough work. In this case, they can't provide our apprentice a very good environment, continuing working there. The work is very important in the company. Some of the apprentices, they went to the company every day, but they got so little work to do. In this case, they won't learn something. But the company, the in-company trainer, they should give our apprentice enough work. And also, the work is a little bit challenging. In this case, they can learn a lot of things from their work. Okay, let's talk about what are desirable conditions a company should to meet. it's like a request for the company who is wanting to implement the dual education and training. This company should be qualified. First, be economically stable. Otherwise, the apprentice will sign a contract, let's say 3 years or 4 years with the company, but then in 2 years' time, the company is shut down because of the economically perspective. In this case, the apprentice will lose their job, will lose their position in the company. It is not good for them to finish the dual education training. So in this way, this is the first and also the most important desirable condition a company should to meet. Second, the company should be able to contribute to the cost of training. Is it possible that the apprentice or parents of the apprentice are paying for their education? But we would like to say, if the company is paying for the cost of the apprentice, this is also for the company to really pay attention to the learning of our apprentice because the company is paying something. First, this is the motivation of the company to pay attention. Second, this is also the motivation for the apprentice to go to the company and fulfill their job. Because for the apprentice, it is very important that they can really be self-independent. And in this case, or in this period of their life, they will love to do the work that you gave to them. Third, have vacancies for long-term perspective of apprentice. This is also very important for the company. If an apprentice just have very short-term contract, this is very hard for them to have feeling that they are belonging to your company, that they are belonging to the school. Fourth, not be too far away from the place of living of the apprentice. This one is very easy to understand, but I don't think this is a very important element because as we are doing the past years for our apprentice, a lot of apprentices, they are willing to move if they are finding a really good job in the company. And the company may provide a very good way for them to go to school. Or the apprentice is also to negotiate with the company. Is it possible that I went to the company like 4 months and then 2 months to school? Then it's also for the apprentice to pedal from the company to the school if the distance is too far away. Fourth, have in-company training experience. But I would like to say, if your company has not got any experience in the in-company training, take a step to try. Because a lot of companies, they didn't ever have the implementation of dual education and training, but they want to do this. If they are wanting to do this, we are really encouraging them to do this. But if you do have this experience, it will be a very good part for appealing to the apprentice and get more attention from the apprentice. And the last one is have an HR department or responsible person for apprentice. Because our apprentice, they are from age 18 to 25. They are really young in the society. For their life experience, they need guidance. So if we have a department or we have somebody who is responsible for them, who is caring for them, this will be a big motivation for our apprentice to finish our training. For the students to finish the training, it's very important for the company and also for the school. Now we are going to talk about who should be approached when talking to companies. Here I have to remind you that DVET is an innovation. For some regions or some countries, they don't even heard about dual vocational education and training. So this is a very big step for the companies too. So if it is a new stuff for the company, then we have to know who will make the decision. Top-level management of companies takes decisions on innovations. For example, cooperation between school and company. So I think it is very clear that if we want this company to come into our system, we have to talk to the companies, but to the top-level management. Second, higher probability of success if you can approach top-level management. How to approach? This is a very, very hard question. And also, something is written here, but actually, theory is theory. If you want to take actions to approach, it will need a lot of energy, It will need a lot of patience. It will need also a lot of wisdom. But how can I get a meeting with the general manager of a company? Suggestion 1. Have your director ask for a meeting with the CEO or head of the company to discuss the advantages of dual training via email or telephone. Suggestion 2. There are 3 steps that you can do. First, ask for a meeting on the work level via email or telephone. That you introduce yourself, which school are you coming from, and why are you here, and why you're searching for the top management in this company. Second, explain the advantages of dual vocational training and convince work level counterpart. This is also very important. This is the explanation. This is the convincing process. If you want to have this connection with others and talking about the dual vocational training, you have to prepare this explanation that why it is so good. The explanation of why it is so good, it is also being talked about in our other seminar. Third, try to prepare a meeting on the top level between CEO and school director. Try to prepare a meeting. This is also a task, but this is the action part. After you did all the preparation and the CEO of the company already said, yes, I want to hear something of the advantage of dual training. And maybe in the future, I would love to be a part of the dual education and training, and my company can benefit from the dual education and training. Then they're going to start a meeting. So please prepare this meeting on the top level between CEO and the school director. We would love to have all the sides sitting together and talking about the cooperation in the future, how they can really be in the system, and then how they can really take good care of Apprentice. Suggestion 3, visit events where decision makers come together. If you don't have any contact from the CEO of the company, these events are a very good chance that you get in touch with them. This is very important that if people, they want to introduce the advantage of dual education training and education to these people that they don't know, but these people who is taking decisions. Just visit these events and you will get surprised. Now I have 2 exercises for you. After our Module 5, Selection and Approach of Companies, maybe you will have some ideas of what you're going to do in the future if you want to implement dual education and training, and you want to choose companies, you want to also approach the companies, and you want to persuade them to be part in our dual education system. First, simulate a phone call to get an appointment in a company. This is very interesting because in the past seminar we were doing with our participants about this simulating. They were making a lot of inspiration during the phone call, and also they are very smart to react. Phone call is not that easy. One participant simulates the company employee who receives the call, and one or the trainer tries to get the appointment. So one part is the employee, and second part is the person who is wanting to get an appointment of the CEO. So you have to introduce yourself. Why are you here? Which company you come from, or which school you're from, or which department of the government you're from, and why are you here, and why the CEO should meet you. And second, if he or she only gets the permission to write an email, simulate the follow-up call 1 week later as well. So if you just get the permission to write an email, please simulate this call 1 week later as well. Because after the email, maybe you will get a phone call from the CEO's assistant. Then you have to answer a lot of questions. And in this case, we would love to be prepared. Second exercise is that pre-formulate a short introduction letter for your director to the CEO of a company to ask for a meeting to discuss the advantages of dual vocational training for the company. Pre-simulation of short introduction will ask you yourself to write down the important things that you want to talk to the CEO of the company. And also, these pre-formulate will definitely give you a lot of inspiration during the writing, during the discussion. You can also have a brainstorming with the department colleagues. You can also have a little meeting with the person who believes in dual education training. You can get a short introduction as good as possible. And in the future, in this case, maybe you will get the permission of the CEO from the company. And then they will say, okay, I'm really interested in dual education and training, and I want to participate in dual education and training. And in the future, please do have this cooperation with schools and join together and to give our future young people a good chance to learn in school and also learn in the company. I hope you can benefit from this webinar. Hope to see you again in our seminar, Implementation of Dual Education and Training. See you next time. Bye.